I'm surprised we've gone this late in the show without a Greg Cote revelation to the audience and to everyone here that I think might be shocking. Chris, are you aware that your father finally, on his own, after us shaming him for years, has retired those 25-year-old deck shoes that he's worn barefooted?
It's a sad day.
He says he has retired them after he's been wearing the same crappy shoes without socks and rotten toes for a quarter century.
He sends us an email telling us what he wants to talk about, and I love the way that Greg wrote this one. In a quiet ceremony with no outside mourners invited, Greg said farewell and retired his 20-plus-year-old deck shoes.
Yeah, it's true. They are in the Greg Cote Hall of Fame now, so they still have a place in my heart and in the hall. But I no longer wear them. It reached a point.
What else is in the hall? I mean, this is exciting.
Well, my 9 PFPI trophies. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
How did you finally get to the point? That was a good point. Whatever it is you just said there, we'll isolate that sound, and we will.
In Greg's defense, he was right.
Thank you. Something was whispered in my ear that didn't. It was
first
quickly,
condom.
It was my first condom. It was quickly vetted. And it was decided that would not be uttered by me.
But what was said on the air was just a sound that was unintelligible that went on for 2 seconds. That was you disoriented and thinking.
Yes.
And what the audience got, instead of the joke, it was my first condom, was
In Greg's defense,
that was the vetting process.
There's a lot to process and quick. Like, just you're in the middle of talking, you have something whispered in your ear.
Thank you.
That's objectionable.
Right.
And you have to decide while you're broadcasting. I'm not going to say that.
Thank you, Woody.
Well, you could just not say it without any sound, right?
Well,
Yes.
I can tell he was looking for another thing, a third item to mention.
I was, yeah.
And Christopher tried to offer the help.
Right, yeah.
And the help was not
I'm always
great
here.
help.
My original Stratomatic board is in the hall. I mean,
Nice.
there's baseball cards. There's a bunch of stuff in there. But yeah, I have my new deck shoes on now, which aren't pristine because Charlie the puppy has chewed the laces on these shoes. So they're not pristine, but they are brand new.
What a
shoes.
rascal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you mentioned Charlie the puppy because we have a couple of dog-related stories that we want to get to. But Chris, first off, are you surprised that your father has finally retired these shoes? We've been shaming him. I mean, they're just god-awful. They're his favorite shoes. I don't think they're very expensive. I don't think they were ever very expensive.
They're Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I mean,
The smell had gotten to a point. We were at the 4th of July, and you're outside. Generally, you don't smell people's feet from outside, and people were giving him looks outside. I think the 4th of July was a big, okay, Dad, it's time.
The leather had hardened. They were uncomfortable to wear.
They didn't harden this summer. Like they hardened 15 years ago.
That's a sign of a good run. When you can smell your shoes from, you're inside and you can smell them when they're outside, that's the sign of a Hall of Fame run.
It's not debatable. It is absolutely false.
No, it's
It's debatable. Yeah, it is.
Your shoes have to be that durable to smell. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They stood the test of time for a long time. But
what happened? Because I feel like they were about 23 to 24 years beyond their expiration date.
Right. They were.
They smelled when you and I were still working together at the Herald, and I was in my 20s.
Compiler.
There was a sentimental value to these shoes that remains. That's why I can't bring myself to throw them away. They're retired honorably, with honors. And, the new shoes have been broken in. And the new shoes will outlive me because I'm loyal to my shoes. I'm a loyalist.
That's one of your best qualities and that I admire.
Thank you.
I bet your shoes have seen some things. Like I've often thought, I want to get a pair of shoes that I will wear whenever I go anywhere, like traveling wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can say these shoes traveled the world with me.
Yes,
and then
did.
I remembered, I don't travel much, so it's really just gone to Disney World and Islands of Adventure and back to Miami.
Those shoes traipsed through the Vatican. Through the ruins in Rome.
Yep.
They've been all over. They've been everywhere, man. And, how many insoles did they outlive, these shoes? I couldn't keep them. I mean, the puppy chews insoles, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, right.
So, anyway, they're honorably retired. They're in the Hall of Fame now.
Congratulations.
And we're proud. We're proud.
Mm-hmm.
You wore those shoes inside of the Vatican.
Yes, I did.
They've seen everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With honors.
Again, always without socks.
Yes, always.
And with
so you weren't
rotten-
wearing socks inside of the Vatican.
Right. I did take off my hat in respect.
I'm not
As
even
one
that
does, yeah.
religious, and I'm offended.
Ah, don't be offended.
Did anyone else like me sneak a picture when you were in the Sistine Chapel?
Of my shoes?
You weren't like there was that one thing where they were very like there is no phones in here, no pictures.
Right.
Yeah, I went to Italy.
Really?
I did
Look
the
at
little.
you.
I held my phone down,
Uh-huh.
had the picture up, like nothing to see here.
Oh, of
Click,
course.
snap, got that picture.
Yeah,
Where's
yeah,
the picture
you have to.
today?
Let me see if I can find it. That was a long
What
time
shoes
ago.
did you wear?
I think sneakers.
Nice socks.
And that's more respectful, Woody.
No,
Sneakers.
they're not. Deck shoes outrank sneakers on the hierarchy,
Right.
on the totem pole of footwear.
So are you wearing the shoes? You said the shoes, the new ones,
That
are
is
gonna.
so not true what you just said.
No, it is true.
No, it is.
What do you
It
mean?
is true.
100%.
Behind
you guys
tap
are not
shoes, though.
sneakerheads.
Not
Like there
debatable.
are no deck shoes that are as good as the best sneakers. There's no such thing.
Well, that's debatable.
Well, what are you ranking? You're ranking what? Like
I'm-
quality? Because
style, comfort, all of
No,
it. Just
we're
Style, schmile.
exactly
But
right.
a
I
Nike
think the
swoosh.
hierarchy is shoes that connote
Respectability.
You're
Yeah.
matching the occasion.
Mhm.
I would put the sneaker above a deck shoe. Any
What?
shoe,
Same.
any shoe where you're
No.
barefoot.
I think Whittingham has final
It's
say
towards
on
the
this.
bottom.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
outrageous.
Why? What does he know
I
about
don't know.
shoes?
He's just,
sneakers by itself is way too broad a category.
Yeah.
Rock
You
bottom
can't
of
just say sneakers. There's basketball shoes. There's tennis shoes. There's a number of variations of
Yes,
sneakers.
thank you.
Yeah, there's different types of. There's running shoes. I'm just saying there's different types of sneakers. You can also say that like the Jordans that you would wear are better than running shoes in
Yes,
terms.
they are.
So you
On the
can't just.
hierarchy, it's put Jordans on the top and then everything else.
That's what I'm saying, but you can't just blindly classify sneakers ahead of every other type of shoe.
A pair of Air Monarchs is more respectful than boat shoes.
But Billy's saying you can't put a
Boat
pair
shoes.
of Keds ahead, ahead of some, nice shoes, deck shoes is what he's
But
saying.
a lot of
Not
people,
all sneakers
a lot
are
of
as good as
people
deck
now
shoes.
That's
are
right,
wearing
right. Fair.
sneakers with suits. I don't think many people are wearing boat shoes with
They should.
suits.
We prefer
You should
deck
pioneer
shoes.
that look. You should show up at the next Dolphins press box with a full suit, deck shoes on the.
And what would be
underneath
wrong
it.
with that?
Quite a lot.
Everything.
Quite a lot.
Everything.
Quite a lot,
Why?
Yeah.
I'll wear deck shoes with a tuxedo.
There was a
Don't threaten me.
marina at Sun Life Stadium. Deck shoes are appropriate.
You mentioned, Greg, Charlie, the puppy.
Yeah.
I don't know what got Stugotz upset on his plane. Every time he takes a trip, he makes a complaint or observations around the people, about the people around him.
You're not flying unless you're complaining. I mean, you got to find something to complain about.
And it's worse. It seems like it's worse than ever now. I mean, our systems seem to be malfunctioning and our airports don't seem to be working. You
Yes.
were next to somebody on a flight or around somebody on a flight who had a comfort dog?
Not a comfort dog, just their dog. They were traveling. They brought their dog with them in a little, I guess, zipped up cage, if for lack of better description or term. But you know what? Don't bring your dog on a plane. And if you must bring your dog on a plane and sit next to me, don't try to engage me in any sort of discussion about your dog. I didn't want your dog there in the first place, and I certainly don't want to discuss your dog for the entire plane ride. Don't want to do it. And then, when you go to the bathroom, here's what you don't do. Don't ask me to watch your dog. I didn't bring my dog Finny because I didn't want to watch my dog Finny on the plane. You think I want to watch your dog? You think I want to talk about your dog? Do you think I care about your dog? I don't want your dog there. I didn't even notice you had a dog until you brought the dog up. I don't like dogs on a plane, and the thing I like less than that is talking about your dog on a plane, and I'm certainly not watching your dog on the plane. Enough.
Chicken thigh.
What
Bravo.
happened? Thank you, Greg. Tiny dog, I mean.
Put it on the poll,
Small
Guillermo,
dog.
please. Don't argue with the chickens.
They're right. They're always right.
Don't bring a dog on the plane, yes or no, on the poll.
I think we're starting to lose the war on that one. I think there's so many people that are bringing animals onto planes, bringing animals into grocery stores.
Yeah, it's wrong.
I think slowly but surely the American I think if we did a poll right now, a scientific poll of the country, it would come back people in favor of bringing their animals to places. because it just is so frequent now that I have to assume that a majority of people now think that this is acceptable behavior.
Okay, that's fine. I said bring your dog on the plane. I prefer you not, but bring it on the plane. But don't try to engage me in a discussion. I don't care about your dog.
You did say don't bring your dog on the plane.
Well,
You didn't
I
say
started
bring your
there.
dog on the plane. You said don't. You said the opposite of what you're now saying you said.
If you must bring the dog on the plane, because I don't know if I'll run into a situation where I'll have to bring Finney on the plane. But what I won't do is try to engage strangers in a conversation about my dog. And then I certainly won't ask them when I have to go to the bathroom, hey, can you watch this thing for a couple of minutes? I mean, come on, Dan.
There should
Billy-
be dog planes. Nice tongue painted on the side of it.
It's a plane just for
wagging
dogs.
tail
Yes.
in the back. You know how planes
Water
have
bowl
tails?
at every seat.
If it's a good boy.
But you have them in
or
seats. I
girl
guess they wouldn't be in
wags.
seats.
Yeah.
With a dog flying the plane.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You guys don't have anything else.
Wouldn't that
there?
be
It's
a
just
thing,
that, like, I
Dan?
figure though, if you're going to do a dog plane, you're going to keep with the bit as opposed to
Yeah.
just throwing it my way and saying, Dan, want to do something with the dog plane we invented that a dog is now flying, according to Greg.
That's
Dan,
ridiculous.
you want to do a
What's-
show around this?
what's the best
Dan, I got a
breed?
dog flying a plane of dogs. How about you go now, Dan? Tell us about what that plane looks like. Wasn't my idea. It was your dog plane flown by a dog. Dan, do the show? Nothing? Just a dog flying a dog plane.
Run with it.
Dogs would also, be serving the, pretzels and stuff like
Exactly.
that. It'd be a whole dog staff.
Be a good teammate, man. Run with Billy on this. I mean, dog plane.
You go ahead and run with him on it.
I did.
Go ahead, keep going.
I told him it was a good idea.
Keep going.
He took all my ideas.
There were no ideas expressed. Go ahead, run with it.
No, there was a dog wagging its tail. It's on a plane. It's a
Well, the
funny
plane
visual.
wags its tail
That's a
too.
great
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
whole dog plane. Yes, the plane is also wagging. Yes, if it's flown by a dog, I imagine he would be up there wagging the tail of the plane.
Only when it's happy or scared. It depends. You have to look which way it's wagging. It's confusing. Dogs are confusing.
You wanted a show dog.
Yeah,
You've been
Charlie's our
wanting.
show dog. Greg's dog, Charlie, is our show dog. You missed it, Dan. We had a meeting earlier, and by that I mean Hildy just told Greg, hey, Greg, you should bring your dog in every time you come moving forward.
And I shall. Hildy was excellent and excited and really into essentially minding the dog on a Tuesday. She wanted to meet Charlie. And the feeling is mutual, I'm sure.
So next week, apparently, Charlie's going to be coming and running around the studio.
Chewing up all the wires around here.
No, but
Chews
Hildy's,
everything.
Hildy's going to be in charge of Charlie, so it'll be fine.
Right. Chews everything, puts everything in his mouth. Wood. I catch him in my backyard literally eating the bark off a stump. He's an active dog, not a great barker. Like, you don't have to worry too much about ambient barking in the background when I bring Charlie in.
My daughter just barked for the first time recently.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was wondering because you're an experienced parent. I don't know what the hell's going on. You're an experienced parent. My daughter barked for the first time in reaction to the dogs in the neighborhood barking, and I was wondering if that's like a milestone that people look forward to.
You know, I haven't experienced that. I don't recall. Christopher, did you ever bark as a child? Can't remember that.
You never forget their first bark.
Yeah, I don't think Christopher ever barked, quite frankly. But, on an on dog airlines, there would be a lot of barking. When this woman was engaging you in a conversation about
Yes.
her dog, if her dog starts barking in that carrier,
Right.
then you start barking. If her dog takes a shit in the seat, then you take a shit.
Right.
You're turning it around on that
Yes,
woman. You're giving her a
right.
taste of her own medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the way to play that.
And Stugotz isn't
Eye
being
for an eye.
ridiculous. Yeah,
Yeah.
Stugotz
Yeah.
isn't being ridiculous. Imagine if Stugotz was brought along on the dog airplane.
Right.
Dogs would be livid.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Right.
I don't want to talk about your human. It's ridiculous.
Not watching him.
Right.
You did not watch that dog. That was just made up.
She asked me to watch the
That's
dog.
not
She
true.
had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, I totally believe that.
Yeah, she did, Billy.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Dog owner will do that.
Yep.
You can't argue with the chickens.
Well, you're right about that. Got us stuck here.
The chickens are undefeated.
Dan, I'm telling you, it was a tiny dog. I was tired. I've been traveling a lot. I did not notice she had a tiny dog in a zippered up bag below
You
her
didn't
seat.
notice the dog?
I just didn't notice,
Didn't
guys.
notice, but
was
it also
early.
bothered him right away.
Well, no, it bothered me that she tried to engage me in a discussion about the dog. I didn't know what that was there, and then once I realized it was there, I was annoyed. I was annoyed by the fact that the dog was there. I was annoyed that she was trying to engage me in a discussion about her dog. Give me details. Tell me how long she's had it for, what kind of breed it is. And then I was even more annoyed when I'm trying to watch something and she asked me to watch it for a minute. That's all.
You know what you should have done now thinking this through? Because obviously this person was very proud of their dog. And I would imagine you don't like engaging in many conversations on an airplane.
Right.
Every time this person tells you a fact about their dog or whatever, just one-up it with something about your dog, and then that person will immediately get annoyed and not want to talk to you anymore. Because they want to brag about your dog. Like, oh, my dog got a 1,200 on the SAT. And like, well, my dog got a 1,400 on the SAT. You know what I mean? And just constantly one-up the dog owner on their dog, and then they'll be annoyed with you.
My dog's better than your dog?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
We're wondering if a dog can be a pilot. I Googled it, and there's a dog named Bria, the four-legged co-pilot flying the friendly skies.
Dog Airlines.
There you go.
She doesn't do anything, though.
Hildy's cousin is a pilot at like 20 years old, and I told her that's way too young to be a pilot.
I ain't flying that plane.
Me neither.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-mm. I'd rather fly on a plane with dogs.
Damn right.
Mm-hmm.